So for this lab, we're going to be using a 1989 Ford Ranger 4-wheel drive with a 5-speed manual in it. We're going to be testing the PCV operation and see if we can get vacuum at the PCV valve. Right here is the PCV on top of the cover, and there's the line that goes to the intake from it. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to try to get a vacuum reading off of it and see what it reads. Not sure if it's on connection or not, but it looks like we're getting no vacuum out of the PCV valve. Correction from the previous clip. Right back here, that yellow line that's actually our PCV hose. What we were looking at before was the fresh air hose, which made sense why there's no vacuum coming from it. So we're going to try to test again and see what we can read. Despite the PCV system not working properly, or at least from the vacuum at the PCV valve, which rattles when you shake it, the idle is okay. And there are oil leaks. It is an 89, so we do have oil leaks on the engine, but overall, didn't seem to be affecting a whole lot. For this test, we took the oil filter cap off, or the oil cap, and we're going to put a piece of paper on top of it to see if it'll hold it, and see if the PCV system is actually working. You can see the paper's on it, and it is currently suctioning it well. So, beginning this vehicle, we're going to be doing the EGR lab on this 2000 Buick Lasabre. I'm going to point out where the EGR valve is. It's sitting right here. This little black thing extends all the way to the bottom. It's got white wire, gray wire, a bunch of wires off that. That EGR valve right there is a linear position valve. Inside it has a linear potentiometer controlled by a PCM pulse width modulation. Taking a look at the exhaust gas circulation valve connector, we have EGR valve control, sensor, pinhole position sensor, ground, signal, 5-volt reference, and valve control, using those wires to control the EGR valve. With the vehicle running at idle, what we're going to do now is I'm going to reach across and I'm going to disconnect the EGR, and we're going to see what happens. Good. You can see me reaching across here, pulling up on the tab, and yoink. Nothing happened. No running condition has been changed. What I'll show now is how to do functional tests and how we're going to shut down the actual the EGR solenoid and see what happens. So we're going to go to functional tests, scroll down to output controls, scroll down all the way to EGR percentage. Gonna think about it for a second, and it's gonna give you all of the pits. It's very interesting here, as you can see, the actual EGR position percentage right there is 1, and it will climb the more part throttle I give it. It kicked up to 2 a minute ago. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing in this test is I'm actually going to force the EGR position to be open. We're going to be dumping exhaust gas in at idle and just to see what happens. I think this is going to be really interesting to see. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to increase and watch that number go up. 7, engine's running a little rough. 20, a little rougher. 30, barely keeping alive right now. 44, does not like it. 50. Sounds like it's really stuttering. And 30 seconds has expired. This screen basically keeps you from destroying the car, so it's really good to have on some scan tools. Again, this is Snap-on Solus Edge, so that's really good to see that it has it. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I am testing my EGR resistance values. So I have probed the appropriate pins according to my pinout sheet over there, and watch the meter as I push in the pin tool with my screwdriver, so watch it change. That's full lock, so that's all the way in. That's all the way out. And that is about halfway in. Here are the results for the resistance testing between the two terminals.